Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be diving back to the Oni trilogy of Ninjago to look at something interesting found in Ninjago Sons of Garmadon, which could either be a coincidence or a pretty massive hint as to what the future of Ninjago may hold. I've gotten a couple of comments and a couple of messages about this very same thing, and I decided in today's video we could go back through a very specific scene in the Oni trilogy that may in fact have set up the Overlord or the Crystal King himself in Ninjago Crystalized. Obviously enough, this video is not going to contain confirmed information, keep that in mind. This is just pure and simple speculation. So guys, in terms of the actual sequence itself, here we have it. This is the moment in Sons of Garmadon where Lloyd and Harumi enter down to the caves of the Oni temple and find some weird drawings on the wall depicting the Oni as large warlord-like creatures, and in my opinion, these drawings on the wall right here look very similar in style, shape, and size to that of the Crystal King himself from Ninjago Crystalized. And if the Crystal King here is confirmed to be the Overlord at some point during Ninjago Crystalized, which will almost certainly happen, that would tie in the lore of the Overlord and the Oni together even further, blending these two species together, making them one and the same. This is most likely what Oni looked like way back when. Larger, more beastly-like creatures, as opposed to the traditional Oni that we recognize from Ninjago Season 10 and other seasons of the show. Here they are quite smaller, more humanoid. Maybe the Oni evolved over time, and the Crystal King here is just an example of an ancient Oni being, one that looks more monstrous, more intimidating, as opposed to the more humanoid Oni that we come to recognize. And admittedly, once you do look at these pictures, they do look like the Crystal King to an extent. You gotta admit that there are some similarities here. For one, the horns. They look very similar to that of the Crystal Kings right here, more so in terms of the Ninjago Crystal King set right here. Obviously, this is more supposed to be like a crown, but you can see the horns on this guy too. Horns right there. Horns shooting out the top of his head right there. And also, if you wanted to look even further, those teeth are also quite monstrous looking, which coincidentally very much look like the Crystal King's teeth. At least to me they do. Now, I'm not saying specifically that the Crystal King is an Oni here, or at least the Overlord is an Oni, but if you take a look at some of these ancient drawings, they do look very similar to that of the Crystal King. Again, those horns, the mass of the creatures themselves, the actual presence of them all. They look very much like the Crystal King and vice versa. Granted, the Crystal King may be some type of mutated version of the original Oni because he is very much crystallized, for lack of a better term, and of course he does have 4 legs and 2 arms, unlike these original drawings which only have 2 legs and 2 arms. But still, you gotta admit the similarities there are pretty striking. Not to mention the Crystal King himself in Ninjago Crystalized will be using the Oni temple itself as some type of base of operations, or at least that's what we can see from the trailer itself. So who's to say the Crystal King, otherwise known as the Overlord, is not an original Oni, back again in the modern day, just with more updates, more upgrades that make him separate from his original Oni counterparts. Again, these are supposed to be ancient Oni, but I just can't help but see the similarities here. They look really similar. Maybe there's a chance that the Overlord and the Oni's paths are more connected than what we see. We've seen the Oni trilogy make reference to things that happened in the Wild Brain saga before, as was the case with Wajira, so who's to say these cave paintings don't actually represent the Crystal King? Sure, maybe back in 2018 Ninjago wasn't planning that far ahead, because of course the future for the Ninjago series is always kind of questionable, but if this is some type of connection, callback, or maybe even some type of hint or clue as to what the future of Ninjago Crystalized may hold, this could be one of the best interconnected pieces of Ninjago's lore that I've seen in many, many years. Ninjago Crystalized certainly has a lot of potential to change what we know about Ninjago history so far, and I for one hope that it does. I think it's always awesome to see how Ninjago history and Ninjago lore continues to expand, and I for one hope that in Ninjago Crystalized, the whole notion of the Overlord being some type of ancient Oni does in fact come true, and maybe some of the ancient cave paintings that we saw in Sons of Garmadon were depicting a massive group of older or ancient Oni trying to colonize Ninjago at one point in time. Who's to say? Maybe that's why the Crystal King or the Overlord in Ninjago Crystalized is attempting to do the very same thing. Conquer all of Ninjago, finally providing peace, but in the darkness as opposed to the light. But of course, let me know down below in the comments what you think about this whole debacle. That'll pretty much wrap it up from my thoughts here today. What do you think about this? Do you think that these ancient cave paintings from Sons of Garmadon and the rest of the Oni trilogy's hints and clues actually tie into Ninjago Crystalized and the Crystal King himself? Thank you all so much for watching today's video, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I appreciate you guys checking out today's video. It's always fun to theorize and speculate when we can. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. My name is TannerFishies, and I'll talk to you guys again in the next video. Peace.